Since the long rule of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is over, after rebels swept into the capital Damascus, the fighters declared the city liberated in a statement carried on state television. Syrians have been celebrating in the streets. Since the whereabouts of Assad are unknown, Turkey's foreign minister said he was probably outside Syria, while a source close to the rebels said a search for him was underway. He hasn't spoken publicly in days. Since Syria's prime minister said in a recorded message that the government stands ready to cooperate with any leadership the people choose. He was seen in a video being escorted by rebels. The rebels, who are led by Islamists, have said minorities will be protected. Since one U.S. official told CNN that events in Syria mark the collapse of Iran's artifice across the Middle East. The toppling of the Iran-backed Assad follows the decimation of key Tehran proxies Hezbollah and Hamas in conflicts with Israel over the past 14 months. Working out a new governing system in Syria would be extremely challenging for the rebels that have toppled the regime of President Bashar al-Assad. Jerome Drivon, a senior analyst on jihad and modern conflict at the Brussels-based think tank International Crisis Group, told CNN Sunday. It's going to be extremely challenging for the whole coalition of rebel groups, because it's a diverse coalition, he told CNN's Becky Anderson. Some groups are more structured, more organized, including Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and some of its allies, he said, whereas others are more local entities. States like Turkey and Qatar will likely help with the stabilization of the country, as well as other Gulf and European nations, Drivon said, adding that Gulf Arab countries will likely step in to favor their own interests. In the first state television interview with the rebels, a commander introduced as the leader of the operation to overthrow Bashar al-Assad's regime in Damascus assured that minorities in Syria would be protected, emphasizing that the country belongs to all Syrians. We address all the sects of Syria. Syria is for everyone, without exception. A broken bar. Syria is for the Sunni, the Druze, the Alawite. We don't deal with people like the Assad regime, dead, the commander said when asked by the interviewer to reassure minorities concerned for their safety after the fall of the Assad regime. He also called on Syrians to safeguard all the government institutions. The broadcast was cut mid-interview after the sound failed. Syrians in the capital city of Damascus are celebrating the fall of President Bashar al-Assad, after rebel forces entered the city with scant resistance from regime forces and declared it liberated. Thousands gathered in cars and on foot in the main square of Damascus to celebrate. Omar Da'er, a 29-year-old lawyer, said his feelings were indescribable. After the fear that he, Assad, and his father made us live in for many years, and the panic and state of terror that I was living in, I can't believe it, he told the Associated Press. Another Damascus resident, Mohammed Amir al-Libi, 44, said he wasn't able to sleep last night until he heard the news of Assad's fall. From Idlib to Damascus, it only took them, the opposition forces, a few days, thank God. May God bless them, the heroic lions who made us proud. A local named Ghazal al-Sharif declared that God had answered the prayer of every oppressed person. The removal of Assad, who has not been heard from since the rebels claim brings an end to more than 50 years of his family's autocratic rule of the nation of about 23 million, which has been buffeted and fractured by more than a decade of civil war. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is probably outside Syria, Turkey's foreign minister said on Sunday, asked by CNN's Christiana Manpour at a news conference in Doha, Qatar, if he knew where Assad might be. Hakan Fidan said, I cannot comment on that, probably outside of Syria. There is conflicting information on Assad's whereabouts. An Eastern European agency believes he is in Latakia, his coastal stronghold. The Syrian leader has not been seen or heard from publicly since rebels entered the capital early on Sunday morning.